Hey, so you're thinking about moving to Jupiter, the surrounding area, and you're trying to decide what the market is like? Well, stick around because that's exactly what I'm talking about today. That's right. If you're thinking about buying or selling in Jupiter, the surrounding area, you probably want to know what's going on in the real estate market. And that is exactly what I'm going to be covering today. My name is Andy Johnson with the Andy Johnson Group at eXp Realty. And if this is your first time joining us on the channel, make sure you go ahead and click subscribe, ring that bell so you can get notified anytime we post new content. It is a beautiful day in Florida in December, and if you're up north, it's probably about 20 degrees right now. I'm sitting out here in a sweater in 68 because 68 feels cold to us Floridians, and if you get down here, you'll understand that. That being said, I was going to record this in my office, and then I was like, why would I do that? Beautiful 68-degree day, sunny. I'm going outside, so here I am. All right, folks, so when we're talking about the South Florida real estate market, we really have to subdivide it into two sections as far as I'm concerned, and that is condos and single-family homes. There are other sections that we need to consider as well. So, for instance, the luxury market, and I'm going to hit that very quickly. The luxury market is strong and has remained strong for a while now. We definitely have seen inventory grow, but that's been a national trend and is nothing new. Obviously, the luxury market is not being affected by interest rates like the rest of the market is, and so demand there has definitely stayed above what we've seen in some of the other markets. But then we got to subdivide it, like I said, into condos and single family homes, and we're going to talk about condos first. So condos are still kind of struggling down here is the overall feel, and I'll give you some actual numbers in just a moment. Inventory continues to grow, and they're still plagued by the fact of having to fully fund reserves, get different repairs done that are being required due to the collapse that happened a couple years back. Also insurance has become much more rigid in the master policies for these buildings, and so we're seeing an increase in monthly dues, and it's making a big difference. It is raising the condo association fees anywhere from $25.50. We're even seeing some of them double, and that's making a major impact on the cost of ownership with condos. So when we split condos down, it's funny, I actually just had somebody ask me the other day whether or not they should move forward with listing their home right now, because they felt like in January, the market was going to explode and there were going to be all these homes coming on the market. And when you look at our market statistically over the last 4 years, that's not the case. We will definitely see more homes coming on the market in January, but we also see demand go up as well. When we look at last year, as a matter of fact, in January, while supply went up, the actual units sold compared to inventory increased by 25%. So if we look year over year, right now, we have about, this is condos again, there are about 25,300 units available at the beginning of November. Now, as I said, it's December, but folks, we've got to get these numbers in arrears. And so I did look at the preliminary end of November numbers, and they're pretty close to the same as what we're looking at here. So again, that's 25,300 this October that's currently on the market. Last year, there were 15,588. So that's almost 10,000 more units that were available. If we look at pending sales, which are homes that actually went under contract in last year, October of 23, there were 2,361 that went under contract, and this time in October there were 1,995. So again, we've got inventory at 10,000 more units and people purchasing, at 1,300 less more under contract. And that is where we're starting to see some fluctuation in condo prices. It's a pretty unique market that we find ourselves in condos and single family homes when it's not a second property. And we can talk about those as a lump group. So if it's a primary residence for an individual and someone that uses a mortgage, a lot of people have the desire to switch to a different property, something bigger, something smaller, something on the water, something on a bigger lot. I don't care. They have a desire to switch. But the problem is, if they purchase their home any time over 2.5 years ago, their mortgage rate is 4% or less. Hell, a lot of people are 2.75. And right now, as of today, the 30-year conforming conventional loan was at like 6.6. So even if people have owned their home for 4 years, they bought it for $500, it's worth $900, so they've got $400,000 of equity. The home that they want is 1.2, whatever. When they break it down and they look at what their mortgage payment is going to be, due to the increase in interest rates, the increase in insurance, and really the increase in taxes, it's making affordability an issue. Now, the nice thing about that for the market as a whole is I do think that there's pent-up demand moving into 2025, and we are seeing mortgage rates start to go in the way that sellers are going to want them. They got down to about 6, then they popped back up to 7, and now we're trending back down. And remember, I know the Fed has been cutting rates, and while that does influence what's going on with mortgage rates, it's not exactly tied like that. So they're creeping back down to 6.5, 6.6. I personally believe that once we get down into the 5s, we're going to start seeing more activity. Not just because people can afford more, although that's true, right? Every time the interest rate drops, you can buy more home. But I think once, the news is that interest rates are in the 5s, we're just going to start seeing buyers come out more. What that means is home prices are holding relatively firm in a lot of cases for primary residences because people don't have to leave. And if they're not able to get their number, they don't sell. So rather than dropping price, and taking a hit, they're just sitting there holding their properties, and it's keeping the market inflated price-wise. And that's been going on for quite some time. We definitely have seen prices come down, especially in properties that need work. It is a fantastic opportunity to grab in or hop into a condo or a single family home if it needs any work. You should definitely get into that. It's something to talk about. But because people are sitting tight now, in instances of death, divorce, job loss, or new job where people are having to make a move, we are seeing those people take a hit when they have to sell their property and go into another location. Same with secondary homes or condos. A lot of those, because they're second homes, people are not having to come and purchase those properties. So we're seeing inventory continue to grow because no one's required to buy a second home, right? You don't have to have a second home to enjoy down in Florida. That being said, in our secondary snowbird market, nothing does well for Florida real estate like the winter that we're already having this year. Seriously, it's 20 degrees across the country right now with wind chills in the 10s, and that pushes people down here. I know that we've had some storms and some hurricanes, which does tend to keep people away, but the truth is with the way news moves anymore, it's quickly forgotten. And now people are going to be sitting there in their apartments or their houses up north, freezing, scraping ice off their windshield, telling themselves they're not going to do this for another winter. And I really think that we're going to see a stronger second home buying season, or a third, fourth, fifth, whatever, snowbird buying season home or season down in Florida more so than we did last year. I have no idea if that made sense. Let me say that again. I think that our snowbird buyers are going to come in and purchase more properties than they did last year. Okay, because what I just said was confusing to me, and if it was confusing to me, it had to be confusing to you. So let's go on to single family homes and talk about those and what they're kind of doing. All right, so single family homes and what they're kind of doing. So, okay, here we are. Right now, we were sitting at an inventory of 19,600 homes. If we go back a year ago, we were at 14,376, so about 5,000 more properties on the market. Keep in mind, condos jumped 10,000 more units. If we look at what was pending, last year there were 3,439. Right now, we are sitting at 3,344. So again, what you can see when we're looking at single family homes, and that is why I'm kind of splitting these apart, is while the pattern is mimicking, right? Like in both condos and single family homes, inventory is going up and total sales have gone down. It's not as drastic of numbers in the single family home market. We're just not seeing the same thing occur. And I think a lot of that has to do and not just me, a lot of people think, has to do with the rules and regulations that have been placed on these condos and the changes that have to be made, and really the cost of ownership. But I think that is going to turn around too, as we're starting to see new buyers emerge in our market. We're having people come from other parts of the country that didn't come here before, California and things like that. So, wow, I tell you what, crazy things is what happens when you're outside. Beautiful birds out here cawing in the background. I got a dog over there, and I think there was somebody going around doing the bushes too. But look, this is what happens when you're live. We're not going to stop. We're just going to keep going, plow right on through this. What does all this mean? Look, folks, you buy when the market's low, you sell when it's high. Everybody wants to wait and see what's going to happen, and I completely understand that. And this market is no different. My personal belief is we are in our lull right now in what's going on in the market. Am I saying that we couldn't potentially see prices slide a little bit more in January, February? Maybe January, but I really think February, March, April, if rates keep coming the way that they have been, or coming down the way that they have been, we're going to see an increase in the number of sales. I think we'll see more people coming to the market. I don't think we're getting ready to go into some crazy seller's market. Again, these are just my opinions. We have people continuing to move to South Florida, and that is what's important. And you have to remember that we still have a shortage of homes for what's going on in the nation as a whole. And where are those people going to go? Florida is a very desirable place to come live, and especially in the Jupiter Palm Beach Gardens area, with all of the commercial development that is going on around here, especially in downtown West Palm. Those people in those industries, mainly finance, they are going to be driven to Jupiter, Palm Beach Gardens, North Palm, Juno Beach, and then out west where there's a lot of new construction. This is where people are going to be. Okay, I dive in deeper why I think they're going to come here, and rather than go out to the west or go to the south. But this is where people are going to come. It's going to continue to be a strong market. I will tell you, investment properties right now in our market are a challenge for what rent rates are getting. So that is a tough one. I think that's something else that if we see rates come down, investors can't purchase right now. The numbers don't make sense. When that shifts and investors re-enter the market as rates go down, that's going to push on demand too. So right now, if you're in for a fix and flip and you're looking to hold on to something for 5-10 years, I'm telling you, you're not going to be disappointed if you buy something in the Jupiter and Palm Beach Gardens area. I'm not saying you can just come buy anything and it'll be okay, but there are plenty of deals to be had, and houses are still selling. Every day, things are going under contract, all right? So you just have to look at your position and what your real estate goals are. I think that's one of the most challenging things that we deal with as a team. And by the way, real quick, if you didn't subscribe now, that we deal with as a team. And that's when we talk to people and they say, well, I'm going to wait for X. I'm going to wait for the market to come down before I sell my home and buy a new one. And in certain situations, that's exactly what they should be doing. It makes perfect sense. But in others, it's not. The logic that they're using makes no sense whatsoever. And they haven't actually run through the numbers or worked the numbers. And that's what we're here to do. I love numbers. I can't tell you, and my team can't tell you, what's right or wrong for you. That is your decision. What we can do is run numbers for you to give you better information to make the best decision for you moving forward. Look, no one has a crystal ball, not buying real estate, not buying stock, not in this life. So what we all do to make decisions is use the best information possible and then act. Quit working without the best information. If you've got a question about this market, about what's going on, about what we think we're going to see in any section, about where you can find a good deal, give me a call. This Florida market is not crashing. It's not crashing. Read the news. Look up Florida market crashing. See how many articles you actually find where people say that the Florida market is getting ready to tumble into the ocean. You'll always find one, but just not what's going to happen, folks. my humble opinion. You're entitled to yours. You know, hopefully I get some remarks that tell me how dumb I am and why I'm wrong, and I welcome them. But again, it's just my opinion. I appreciate you checking out this video today. We are always here to support you in your real estate needs in Jupiter and the surrounding area. See you on the next video.